Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us to learn more about Connect. I'm Megan Prosser, Atypon Senior Director of Marketing. Let's get started. I'm pleased to introduce Eleni Lialiamu, Atypon's Vice President of Product Management. Eleni, over to you.
Thanks, Megan. So we've heard and talked about Connect in the past, but we're pleased to say that we've made a lot of good progress that we would like to share with you today. This pandemic probably has introduced changes in our life, in our work life, in our personal life, in our hobbies that are probably not going to be reversed. So we have embraced, if you like, an online existence. And in our online existence, I think one thing you'll probably share with me is that we do value having relationships with those providers of service or content or whatever may those be, so that they really know who we are. So being known is becoming important for us. And I think it's becoming also very important for those that are providing services to us. So having said that, I mean, we have been in an industry that traditionally our users did not need to be known as who they are. And obviously they could get access to the content, as we can observe looking at the data, without being known, primarily through IP address. And even when they had registered with our websites for any reason, may that be getting email alerts or some sort of engagement that they have, actually data shows us that they rarely take time to log in. And these are data we are looking at a more holistic level, looking across, our Literatum websites, but I believe these are also data that you will appreciate when you look at your website in isolation. So, Connect is our way of giving back to our community and our researchers and, our readers in such a way that they become known, and we nurture engagement with you as the publishers and really removing the barriers for them in creating new accounts and making it faster and easier to log in and stay logged in. So who Connect is for, as I said, it is primarily to serve the online scholarly publishing community. And it is a broad community if you think about it. I mean, obviously, when we talk about scholarly publishing, we often think, only the researcher, but it actually transcends so many different roles. And even the role of the researcher in and on itself, as we know, transcends beyond the institutional and academic context into corporations. And we are all witnessing as we speak the impact of R&D that corporations are investing in for what appears to be, a solution for this pandemic. So it's readers, it's subscribers, it's students, it's also practitioners as well, who often will interact with our content and our services, and they could be decision makers or influencers in their community. It is also for you, the publishers, societies and academic presses who are serving this community by creating high value content, and also for application providers who are innovating and co-creating new products, services, and tools to really help researchers be more productive for the benefit of society. So how does Connect work? If we think of our community, when we actually put the lenses or the glasses of our readers and researchers, right? They are in pursuit of knowledge, they're in pursuit of evidence, and they're in pursuit of progressing their scientific and research outcomes. And in that journey, they would ideally like to be known as who they are, and through that knowledge of who they are, get to engage with publishers to then obviously get access to the content on site and off campus. And obviously, in this journey, they would like to be able to convey who they are to each and every publisher they engage in with one click, like with simplicity, with ease, and share their profile directly with each publisher as they transcend in this journey. Obviously, Connect's role is not to authorize or grant access to sites and services, but it does link users to the systems that grant the access. And in this case, of course, it could be your Literatum website where licenses and entitlements are maintained. So here I'd like to pose and present a video recorded on real websites, our early adopters, Future Medicine and Future Science, Informant, and the Annals of Saudi medicine from King Faisal Research Hospital. So you'll see all these websites being featured in the video. And this could be really the journey of a real user in the name of Ada. So this is what we will be joining today. So the pursuit of Connect is really to be a catalyst in a more interconnected ecosystem. And you can see here all the different players in this ecosystem, all striving to facilitate our researchers, our readers, our authors to basically be more productive. Connect basically consolidates the user's personal, school, work accounts, authentication for institution in one single place. And if we follow now our user Ada in her journey, she goes into Informed website. She logs in to her account. And here we are actually seeing a journey of creating a new account. You can also hear the typing. So it is actually very real. And so Ada confirms and enters the verification code. So that's the email verification step. And that's the completion of the account creation. So there it is, account is created. Ada basically acknowledges the terms and conditions of the publisher, Informed, as well as Connect. And here on the upper right-hand side, you can see now that Ada Franklin is known to Informed. Now, let's say that in her journey in pursuit of some specific evidence around applied medicine, she visits a Future Medicine website. There is some intelligence working on the background, which tells her, you know what, you have a Connect account. If you want to be known also to Future Science, there you are, just click, and there she is. And you can see here, and I'd like to pause on this because I believe it went too fast. You can see here the banner that Future Science has placed on their website to promote and co-promote Connect for the benefits of their users. So saying to Ada, if you're working remotely, create a Connect account and pair that with your institutional IP address so you can get easily access from the Future Medicine website as well as all the other websites that have Connect enabled. And so our friend Ada continues her journey. So Future Medicine has actually two websites, Future Medicine and Future Science. They're both from the same publisher. Prior to integration and upgrade to Connect, they actually did not have a simplified user account. But after that, as you can see, Ada is known to both without any effort. What Connect aims to do for publishers and societies is really increase the known site traffic and simplify access to your site for all your users. It's a free literatum upgrade, so that will basically change the registration and login process, making it faster and easier. As you've seen also in the video, it's a straightforward registration interface. We've spent a lot of time with user interviews and qualitative and quantitative analysis to really try to embrace best practices. And ultimately what it is, it's an opportunity for you to know your users and build meaningful relationships with them. What we are also seeing from the early adopter sites we just mentioned is that the number of registrations and personal logins has nearly doubled over the past 3 or 4 months that we have been upgrading them with Connect. And here are some interesting data points. So as you can see, the kind of orangey colored bars represent the data for registrations and logged in users. And by logged in users, obviously we mean any session where the user is known, represents what's happening after Connect. And the gray scale is before Connect, and then the blue is when Connect was launched. Overall, there is 100%, more than 100%, in some cases even doubling, as we said, of new registrations, and similarly doubling of increase in authentication sessions depending on the website. What is really interesting here is that these data points, and they're kind of randomized, so we're not pointing to a specific publisher website right now, but Site C is an open access site, so there is no incentive to get access to the content to register. However, as you can see, both the registrations and the authentication sessions have actually doubled without actually having any incentive to do that to get access. Also, site A, site B, and site C are operating in different geographies. They have different business models, content types, and addressing different disciplines, which means that we haven't still seen the merits of the community, whereby a user is researching a specific area, let's say cancer biology, and therefore would be visiting sites that are publishing content in that specific domain. So what does it mean for you and your users? It's a free upgrade to your Literatum website to embrace Connect, and Atypon will basically upgrade your existing Literatum registration and login screen, as you just saw in the video, with a Connect enabled screen. So it will be very much similar with examples you've just seen. And all the existing user accounts are upgraded with a single click upon their first login. So when the users come after they've been upgraded to Connect, they just have to basically acknowledge the terms and conditions with one click, and that's it. There is no cost and nothing that you would need to do. And that's obviously something that our early adopters could testify to. Of course, it's very important to protect your user data. There are no new responsibilities for you. There's no changes to the data that you are collecting and processing. The publishers, your privacy policies and terms and conditions remain the same. And I think it's also very important to clarify that users that register with your website with Connect or are upgraded from your existing website through Connect, they are still your users for you to manage, augment, and target. So that actually is not impacted at all. The only thing that will hopefully happen is that you're getting more new registered users and more logged in users, as we've just seen with the data I presented.
Eleni, we have a question about whether the Connect upgrade will still allow users to remain anonymous if they choose to be.
Yes, users who actually don't have an account obviously were anonymous and will continue to be anonymous, right? Users that did have an account, which means that they were not anonymous, obviously will be prompted to upgrade to their Connect account. So the answer to the question is users can continue to stay anonymous, and that's absolutely their choice.
And can a Connect site see if a user has registered with other Connect sites and what they've done there?
No, absolutely not. Sites, let's say in the scenario that I just presented between Future Science, Future Medicine, and Informed, and King Faisal Research Hospital, each one has their own account for that user, and Future Science doesn't know whether that user has registered with King Faisal or the reverse, right? So there is a complete isolation of the data of the transactions of that user within that publisher that only that publisher owns. So, all we're trying to achieve here is to provide a simpler, secure registration and login process that really incorporates best practices from a security perspective, but also from a usability perspective, and really finds that sweet spot between the two, in the sense of how can we make it really easy yet secure for users to be willing to tell us who they are, offering social login options. It is important to also say here that remember users is a really important capability. So once a user comes back, in the example I just gave in the video, right? The user went to Informed and they created an account. As you've seen, wherever else they went, they were remembered. And as long as they keep coming back once every 30 days, they still remain remembered across all the publishers that have upgraded to Connect. The other important point is that our users can link their institutional access with their account. For those of you who are familiar with pairing, so that they basically get easy access to all the content off campus and on campus. Also, for the publishers that have either Atom hosted websites, but also have other websites, other places where their users are interacting, you can enable Connect there so that you offer, a seamless experience to your users across all your digital assets. And the big idea here is that, and what we've demonstrated is that you get immediate access to all the sites and applications with one single profile. Connect is based on OpenID, which is an open standard and a decentralized authentication protocol. It is also important to mention that it works alongside existing remote institutional access methods like GateFTR, CASA, and seamless access. And I believe also from the experience we had with the community of our early adopters, it is best to have Connect enabled alongside other remote access options as obviously see fit for each of the publishers, because that allows to cover the widest variety of use cases. But what really makes Connect distinctive from all the other solutions that are available out there, that it's not just about solving the problem of getting access. For us, really, is about knowing who the user is, right? It's Ada in our example. She is the user, and she has a relationship that's framed around understanding who she is with each of the publishers she works with. And alongside of that, she can link her institutional affiliations through IP, through email, through Shibboleth, to be able to get the access. And for that, obviously, solutions like seamless access can work side to side with Connect to allow the selection of the institution. And of course, GetFTR and CASA have their own purpose. So in terms of outcomes, what we're striving here with Connect is to increase the known site traffic. And again, the video probably illustrated that quite vividly, I think. But doing that in a hassle-free experience, both for you as the publishers and your users. And as I pointed out, just making sure that once this upgrade happens, all the users that come back with one click immediately become remembered and really reaping the benefits of that. Quite, as you saw also from the data, in a ripple effect by increasing the percentage of sessions where users are known. So that is an effect that takes place quite automatically with very little effort actually from your site. Of course, the other important point is that users are remembered across all the upgraded publisher sites. So Adam moving from Informed to Future Medicine, as you saw, she is remembered. And of course, the other important thing we demonstrated here is that once I've created an account with Informed, creating an account with Future Medicine was just a matter of one click. Why we're doing all of these things is because you would be in a position to really nurture the relationships with your communities, with your readers, your researchers, encourage renewals, and I think also explore other revenue generating relationships that you can have. I think it's probably something we can claim that you can serve your readers better when you know more about them and who they are and why they're there really engaging with you. Another important consideration is Connect for publishers that have an SSO solution, and it can be a great opportunity for you to bring in Connect so that you can really simplify access to your site and to the entire inventory of other websites or platforms you have where users are logging in with their SSO credentials. So Connect can become that user-facing layer that simplifies their journey within your sites and your platforms, but also across, as you've seen, the other publisher websites and applications that they use in their journey. They don't have to be performing repeated authentications. We have all this goodness of consistently remembering them within the publisher websites and within your sites and applications. And of course, they can link their institutional profile, may that be through IP address, email, and get access to the content across all your websites seamlessly. Institutional access, I mean, this is really important point, and it's certainly a pain point that has been addressed in many different ways over the past 12 months. And I believe the pandemic has accelerated how much we as a community had to adjust, moving to off-campus. But Connect actually can be a layer that allows users to link, their institutional affiliation, either through their IP address, email, or Shibboleth account only once on their Connect profile, and actually benefit from that across all the publishers where we have Connect upgrade. And it ultimately makes off-campus access as simple as on-campus access. It's convenient, and ideally you are authenticating once and you're remembered by default. And also, which I think is very important, is you only have one username and password to manage, which for a lot of our users, it is a pain point, just that alone. And it offers an improved user experience. By linking your account with institutional affiliations, you just travel across publisher sites and do your journey, discovery journey, and basically you're getting access to the content without needing to do much more. As far as the user's relationship with Connect, there is a central Connect profile, and this is how it would look. If you go to any of the websites that Connect is live right now, you're more than welcome to create an account and actually click there to see the Connect profile. This is basically where the users control the data that they have with Connect. And as you've seen, this data is really minimal based on what we've just shown. The important part, though, is the ability to manage their institutional membership, which I think is critical for the journeys of researchers and readers in our community, as well as pair any social accounts. So for institutional membership, right, they have one centralized place where they can basically link their institutions, and that linking can happen through email address. And you can see here there is an expiration and a call to action for renewal when that's necessary. It could also be a linking that happens implicitly through IP address, or even a linking that happens through Shibboleth or SAML authentication. All of that is centrally managed, and users can go and obviously change that and do the necessary renewals. But what it means is that as they travel on the publisher websites where Connect is enabled, they're getting access to the content that's entitled through those institutions. So this, is our journey of realizing the vision. And I want to just say a big thank you to all our early adopters, Informed, Future Science Group, King Pfizer, Research Hospital, Code Ocean, who's not today with us, but it's a third-party application provider who has already integrated with Connect, and also celebrating the fact that Wiley is going to be supporting this effort on Wiley Online Library, as well as other Wiley sites and properties, which is really great. And of course, credits to Manuscripts and Citrus, our researcher apps, for being the first ones to embrace Connect. But you have to understand that this is in service of our community and in service of all of you being able to engage with your users in an era of transition. And the more of you upgrade to Connect, the more of you support this effort, the more we can benefit our readers, and ultimately be a more cohesive and stronger community of readers and publishers. It is available to all scholarly sites, not just Atypon clients, but obviously our strategy right now is to spread it as much as we can within our Literatum community. I just want to reiterate that we want to make it as frictionless and as hassle-free a way for you and your users. Obviously, we have ourselves, as I said, qualitative and quantitative data. We're consistently, monitoring and measuring a lot of aspects of what we see to really make sure that we are on the right path, and we are really creating value for the community, which is really important. And that's our commitment to you. And obviously, as I mentioned before, there is no cost and nothing really that you need to do, just besides obviously co-create with us and, probably participate in, as I said, thinking of more ways actually that we can make our users collectively more inclined to engage with us as a community.